What's up, everybody? Little update on some projects from the past day or two. Standing on the land, looking out at the tracks, South Boulder Creek Valley, and the beautiful divide. Got some neighbors playing some drum and bass music. So these green flags here are where the driveway is going to be. Let me zoom into where it starts for you. But down almost where I'm parked, you can see it coming up and across the hillside here. And into this zone, which is going to be flattened out. And then I brought over a bunch of old deck wood and laid down where, based on my drawings, the shop house is going to go. So what we're looking at here would be the front where the nice shop doors are. And this is perfectly east-west oriented because we're going for maximum passive solar gain and active solar. But you can imagine the front here, first story workshop space, second story ADU. At the east, the west wall over here. And then over on this more east side, and of course this is all be flattened out. This is more just to get a feel of the space it takes up and how the sun, hits it and what the views are and where it's actually pointing. But you come up here, this is a little 10 by 10 extension that I'm planning for as an addition to this main 440 square foot space. So this 10 by 10 addition on the first floor will be the utility space with our water system and our power system with a normal amount of separation between the two, of course. But you would walk up here either on the hillside, if we can retain enough hillside to make it work, or on maybe some decking. And on the second floor, you would then enter, step onto the deck here. This would be the mudroom area where, we can kick off our dirty shoes or wet snowboard gear and our jackets, and also have a thermal separation between the main door into the shop house, which would be over here, and, the door into the mudroom. So when it's really cold in the winter, we don't have to open the door and all the main heat escapes from the space. And and from the mudroom, you'd walk in, and this is the amount of space, the 440 square feet. And we're gonna do like a functional loft space on top too. So it's gonna be a pretty tall second level with a loft space that pretty much I can fully stand up in. You're building from scratch, might as well design it perfectly for yourself. So I want the loft to be big enough where I can just stand in it and be comfortable. So that is the layout for this space. I just ran out of these 10-foot pieces, but you can imagine this being enclosed. The nice thing about doing it like this too is that as we flatten out this space, if possible, what the plan is to have the back corner of that utility space, which is the most uphill section, and have that be earth bermed so that the hillside could come closer into the space. And then the final little thing I can show you is that up the hill here, this stake was placed, again, just according to my drawings, exactly in the center of the building envelope. So all of the permitted structures that we're gonna build, which is just the main house and the shop house, have to be within basically 102, 103 foot diameter circle. And this is the center point. So more or less 50 feet in any direction from this point, which means that, seeing this perfect east-west orientation, if we take that same line across this way, right up on this bluff is hopefully where the main house will go. So That all works out nice. But this is something, if you're thinking about buying property, especially if it's a smaller piece of property, the building envelope pretty much says how much of an area you could take up with your permitted structures. And so you can't just sprawl out across your entire property with permitted structures. You can with unpermitted things, which is why we're excited to build lots of smaller unpermitted structures at 120 square feet or less, using different natural building styles, because then we can keep our main permitted structures smaller and have these little ancillary buildings tucked away on the property that maybe are an office or a meditation space, anything like that. So yeah, that's the updates. We got springtime here. Things are beautiful. The snowboarding season's officially over and warmer weather is here. We got the center of the building envelope. And honestly, this is a great thing to do. Any piece of property you can just lay out the floor print, their footprint generally. And these are all not, they're just disconnected. They're just laid out right now based on some measuring I did earlier. But this is perfect for just playing around. And honestly, now after having this here, I think that we're going to adjust it, and I'm gonna push it all maybe a little more that way, or just even back a little bit if possible, because I want as much kind of parking and loading space as possible in this front area, and then up over here on the side, so we can park cars and have piles of dirt and all that good stuff. And so with that, we wrap up another episode of the Helios Homestead. Hope you have a beautiful day. Tune in next time for more progress